So we're presuming that whoever's coming is going to be here, or if not, they'll catch up within a minute or two. So we just like to give you the title of this webinar.
Hmm.
The power of thank you, Tina Marie. The power of coaching. I would actually like to, I think it's the power of coactive coaching.
Yes.
And just a very brief word about who we are. Tina Marie, would you like to jump in first?
Sure, absolutely. I am Tina Marie Meyer. I'm calling in from Vancouver, Canada. I'm a faculty member here with CTI, and I'm also a professional certified coach with the International Coaching Federation, the ICF. I have been coaching for almost 20 years. Oh, that's amazing. I am single mama to 4 now adult children who were very lucky to have been benefited by my coactive approach to raising my kids. And I work with a lot of families, young people, educators, and people going through certification. So that's sort of my coactive role professionally. What about you?
I am Antony Parry. I am calling in from West Sussex in England. I've been coaching for 22 years. I'm a faculty member for CTI. I also have a job, the privilege of helping to develop faculty. I coach people through certification who want to become coaches. I also coach odds and ends, usually sort of creatives, and particularly people who want to write. Um, I've got 3 grown-up children. I've got 8 grandchildren, and yeah, it's a wonderful work that I'm allowed to do. So that is us very briefly. What to
Yes.
expect, the agenda of this call. We've only got an hour together and we have a slide. Yeah.
Great. So what you can see here is we will just touch in briefly on what coaching is. We're going to teach you a coaching tool. And in the world of coactive, we're very experiential. So we'll get to do it with someone in the front of the room. So that'll be a live witness. I mean, you will get to witness a live demo. And on this note, we would love to know if there's anyone in this room that would be interested in being a demo. I'm going to do the coaching. So if you are interested in doing that, please put that in the chat, and we have someone at the back of the room that is going to help you line up with me. So in that demo, yeah, go ahead, Antony.
I say, well, in that demo, reading from the slide, you will experience several coaching skills, and then together we will debrief what you're noticing. And then the final piece will be open to any questions you have about coaching or the Coactive Training Institute. So that is our agenda.
Yes.
So we
Great.
start with the definition of what coaching is. Oh, we've got to design our alliance first. No, what is coaching? No. Okay, great. Ta-da. Well, one of the things we like to model is actually failing and recovering, which I think coaching has got a lot to do with this. So designing our alliance. As you might tell, nothing in this webinar is scripted. Okay. Confidentiality. The coaching in this webinar will not be confidential. When we run our courses, we are very strict about holding confidentiality. However, because it's a public webinar, we cannot say that this coaching will be confidential.
Yes.
And we expect the volunteer to bring a real topic for the coaching session.
That's right. We don't pretend in this world of coaching.
Yeah. Okay.
Sweet. So the definition of coaching, right? Coaching is partnering with individuals in a thought-provoking, creative process that inspires them to maximize their personal and professional potential. So that is the script, really. If there is a script in any of this, this is the script from the International Coaching Federation. This is what coaching is.
I think
I know.
would, yeah, go on.
Yeah.
No.
No,
Tina Marie,
this is
go.
exactly it. I want you to say the statement that I get quite a kick out of.
Oh,
What
well,
else
I
is
think,
coaching?
well, we have a very dear, now departed colleague who always used to
Mm,
say, coaching is about a life to be lived, not a problem to be solved. And I think that's
mm,
such a wonderful short way of saying it. The words that I would underline in that statement is partnering and maximizing potential. So it's really a partnership that allows
mhm.
the client to do their own work on their own growth and their own potential.
Yeah, it's
It
so lovely to
it's
really hold them as naturally creative, resourceful, and whole, and they have all the answers inside
yeah.
themselves. We get to, and I guess where I was pointing us a little bit earlier is I think I've heard you say, we ask stupid questions,
Oh,
and the clients listen to their wonderful answers in order for them to live the life they really want.
yeah. That really sums it up, which in a way makes coaching such fun and so easy. If you're not walking into problems, you're
Mm,
actually walking into the glory of the person that you're working with.
yes, that's lovely. What is coaching not?
It is not a consultancy. We don't know what your problem is, and we certainly don't have the professional expertise to solve it. Which is the good
Right.
news is that coaching can be used in any context. Nuclear
Yes.
physics or astrophysics, all the stuff I know nothing about.
Exactly. So, as the coach, we don't need to be an expert in any particular client's field. We just get to be an expert in being curious, asking thoughtful questions,
Questions. Yeah.
all these
Well,
coaching
and
skills.
be an expert in supporting and holding people in
Mm,
confidence and safety. I think that that is the real expertise of the coach.
beautiful.
So that is coaching. What we
Mhm.
want to do now is introduce you to a coaching tool.
Aha. So, this is a sweet tool. They're all sweet. This is just such a fun one to start with. We call it the Wheel of Life coaching tool. And as you can see, it has 8 segments, like 8 sections, which could represent a way of describing a whole life. And so, if you were to imagine, I'm not sure if that you all have access to a wheel. You may have been given one in the background. But what I tend to do is just draw a great big circle myself and cut it into like a pie or a pizza shape with 8 segments. So you do a big plus sign and a cross, and then you
Yeah.
can.
This is a very common tool. It's used by lots and lots of different coaching schools. It's a very quick and easy way of finding where the client is at this present moment. And what we do is we ask them to look at each of the sectors and mark themselves from 1 to 10 about their level of satisfaction. You see
In
how
this
it's
moment, right?
purely, yeah, in this moment, it's very purely personal. So,
Mhm.
for example, if you think about significant other, you may not have a significant other, and you may be perfectly content with that, that would make it a 10. Or you may have a significant other and it's not going very well. So it might be a 2. It's very personal. It's satisfaction in the moment.
Mhm. Yes. So especially for Kush, who I think might be our, if all technology goes according to plan, might be our demo client. So Kush, if you could just take a moment to fill out this wheel of life for yourself, that would be super helpful. And everyone else in the back of the room, it's such good knowledge to just take a moment and think right now, how satisfied am I in the area of health or fun and rec? You know,
Mhm.
and then
Yeah.
you can kind of see how we do the demo and
Yeah. And here's a sort of health warning. Don't judge yourself. Just
mm,
say, oh, this is the way I am at the moment. This
nice.
is my
Good,
my level of satisfaction.
mhm, good pointing. Yeah. Some of us do these weekly. or
Yeah,
daily
yeah,
even at
yeah,
times. And
because it's just how you are in the moment. So
yeah.
rather than sort of spend a long time, I'm trusting that our
Mm.
volunteer client will
Oh,
know
it's
what.
ready.
Okay, good, splendid. Okay.
Yeah, good pointing, Anthony. Okay, so Kush is ready. Let's see if we can bring Kush online. There we go.
So I think that she will appear and I will disappear, leaving you. Now, do you need a heads up on time, Tina Marie?
Thank you, Anthony. I would love that. Maybe around 10 minutes. Kush,
Okay,
am I
Kush,
saying
it's
your
you're
name
a he.
right?
My. I beg your
Yes, you guys
pardon,
are.
sir. Okay, so at what time do you want a heads up?
12 minutes would be
12 minutes.
fabulous.
Okay, it's all yours. So I
Thank
will.
you.
I don't know how I disappear. Oh, I'll turn my camera off.
Fabulous. Okay. Kush, hello.
Hey, nice to visually meet you. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, thank you. Remind me where you're from.
I'm calling in from Nebraska.
Calling
I'm
in from
originally from
Nebraska.
Central Asia.
Sorry? Oh,
Originally
very
from
nice.
Tajikistan, yeah.
Thank you. And Nebraska is your home.
Yep. Mostly because we been building our company here, so I've been living here for half my life, and
Oh,
so far it's home. But I had a chance to live in Europe for a little bit and some other places, and it's been good.
sweet. Well, thank you. Thank you. I'm going to request, if you can you stay off mute the whole time that we are on
Yep.
screen with each other? Sweet. Thank you. Okay. So, um, we've never met before, and I'm so happy that you've agreed to do this demo. Is there anything, we're doing a little design alliance right now. Is there anything that you would like me to know about you as a coach, as your coach?
Yeah, so when I was doing the reflection and to your call, I do like a weekly. I have 12 points in my
Oh,
circle of life, if you will. And so it
wow.
aligns with the wheel of life here. The areas of opportunities for me, overall, I'm pretty happy and grateful where I am in life. I'm kind of in the next phase of life of the work that I've been doing. Historically, I was in a solid 9 out of 10 for the past 10 years. But for the last probably 12 to 15 months, I've been like a 7 out of 10. And I kind of had a
Oh,
hard
and
question
in
to
like
myself.
in what section would that 7 out of
A
10 be?
work. Yeah,
Oh,
so
okay,
career.
okay. So for the sake of the demo, will you let me just sort of direct us a little bit to help teach everyone here
Yeah.
how to use this? Because it sounds to me like you are quite an expert in using a tool like this, if not this tool. Is that true?
Uh, I've I guess you can say yes, I've been doing this on my own. I didn't know about Coactive's wheel. I've had my own that I've
Okay,
developed for myself and I've been reflecting for the
brilliant.
past 5 years. And I do like a
Okay.
weekly reflection and then I do a monthly and then the annual. But yeah.
Sweet. Okay. So we're going to dial it back to this very simple tool.
Yep.
And I'm curious, just for the sake of the room, could you give me the numbers that you gave each section?
Yeah.
Like, what did
Career.
you rate your,
Yeah.
yeah, career?
I'll go with career. So career 7,
A
physical
7.
environment, I would say 7, just because after living in London, being back in Nebraska, I love my Nebraska people, but it's just not the same.
It's a little different, isn't it?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
So physical environment is what number?
7.
A 7 as well. Okay.
Personal
And what,
growth. Oh, go ahead.
yep, I'm
I'll just keep going down. Personal growth, I
perfect.
would say lately 8. Uh,
Okay.
and money, same 8. No issues there. Health, I would say 9. I'm probably fittest I've ever been.
Nice.
Fun recreation, 8. Significant other relationship, 8. Family, friends, I would give it a 6 now, mostly because most of my family and my friends are back 6,000 miles away. I'm super close
Mm,
with them, but I don't see them enough. Ultimately, the goal is to be closer to them. And so,
yeah.
because I don't have that contact and I miss them, I give it a 6 right now.
Sweet. Okay. Thank you, Kush. So this is just my vague drawing here. Looking at this wheel of life, if it
Yeah,
were a real wheel, it might be a little bumpy. Not too bumpy, a little bumpy. It's kind of our
yeah,
corny saying, as
yeah.
most people's wheels are quite bumpy. So, is there anything here that jumps out at you?
I know the reason why family friends is a 6, right? Like if
Mm,
they were closer, it would have been higher. The area I would like to focus coaching on, probably the career bit. Again, I'm at
okay.
that crossroads of what's next to finding that fulfilling place in life and career. Because historically, I've been grateful and blessed to be in that space, but now I'm kind of out of
Hmm.
it, and so which is why I'm exploring coactive. I really enjoy personally helping others achieve fulfilling lives and go after big dreams, and so I want to do more coaching because when I look back,
Mm,
fulfilling experiences personally, seeing my direct reports become directors and senior directors and have
mm.
bigger impact than I
You
have
have a
has
great
been,
big heart for
yeah,
people and
appreciate it.
their growth.
I love it. I
Okay,
love to see growth.
I can tell it's just in you. So imagining the career section here at a 7. Give me just sort of a couple of bottom line statements that describe your career at a 7 right now.
Yeah, I'd say it's like the I feel like this is the necessary ending to the operational push. I've historically
Mm,
been like an operator, launching departments or helping create processes and all this, like actually driving revenue and processes. And that part of me is kind of behind me now. I feel like that was
aha.
the stage that no longer excites me. And
Okay,
so
so
next stage is
and
legacy of people and yeah,
legacy of people. What a
having an
beautiful
impact on people.
statement. Wow, legacy of people. So, okay, so at the 7, it was sort of it's behind you now. The things that excited you and stuff were there. There. So that's what has it be at a 7. What would a 10 look like?
A 10 would be probably doing what you do today.
Oh,
I think
sweet.
executive coaching, executive retreats. I love facilitating. I've done this for our company on the side just for fun, hosting whether it's strategic retreats or people related, like a talent development retreats. I genuinely enjoy them. Time flies by. Whether it's researching the material, creating the work, the agenda, or facilitating it, I love it, and I would love to do that for fun full time.
Your smile is just right. Your whole body. Can you
Yeah.
get up and move at all? Are you in a position where you
I
could
can
do
move.
that?
I'm in a booth. I'm
You
like,
already are. Look
yeah.
at you. Sweet. Okay, let's use our bodies a little bit.
Okay.
Let's go back to the 7.
Yeah.
You got to feel it like you got serious here. Get a little heavy here.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
kind of a sad ending, I would say, to that
Mm.
part, right? Because it was
Hmm.
impactful, and I feel like I would be letting uh our founder CEO. I've worked with them really closely, and so it's like I'm in a way saying necessary goodbye to that part, which means I'm not going to work with him, right? Because he's still
Yeah.
passionate, he's still driving, and that's still going, and this
Brilliant.
but like that's no longer my journey, and so that's like that is a little bit of
That
a
was then. Let's go into the 10 now.
yeah.
Where there's a legacy of people. Yeah, what else is here?
10, I would say also flexibility would allow me to be close to my family and friends because then I could be
Mm,
remote when I'm coaching with whether it's individuals or executives or whatever. I don't have to be in person here in the office, right? I can be with my parents more often. I can be spending time with my friends more often while also being available for my clients here. So I think that flexibility is also selfishly super
mm.
exciting to me because I do want to spend more time. My dad and mom are 70, so like I want to spend more time with them, and that's
Yes.
likely
It
why
sounds
this
to me like
happened.
you may have a value of family
Yeah,
and connection and support.
absolutely.
So all of what you pour into your career, it sounds to me like you like to also pour into friends and family.
Absolutely. I think anything I do here,
Mm,
like the benefit is to be able to then support family and friends, and I do that, and I take pride in it, and
mm.
yeah, I want to do more of that.
So what's important to you about that?
Mm. I Yeah, I want to. be a champion of people's dreams and having like a fulfilling life. I think
Mm.
it's sad to be doing something you don't want to do and not having the courage to pursue something more meaningful. And if I can have a hand in having, say, if I'm older and I'm dying, and they say, "Hey, you had a huge positive impact on me when I was 30 or 40 or 20, whatever," that would mean a lot to me, more than
Mm.
career achievements.
Oh, I got shivers throughout my whole body as you claim this for yourself. What's happening for you?
I think yeah, I get warm inside feeling about this and thinking about this, um, and I know that's the path, and it's been on my mind for so long now. It's like, okay, now's the time.
Mm. Now's
And
the time.
yeah.
So, with now being the time, if there was one action that you could take that would help you get from the 7 to the 10, what comes to mind?
I think I might be wrong, but just announcing to the world that I'm ready to do this, whether it's on LinkedIn or writing a post or doing a video, just like, hey, I'm
Aha.
open for business, basically, and well, you know, if you have any interest, let me know. Or even starting it for free with a couple of clients, or at whatever they're willing to,
Wow.
like, just to kick it off so that like I get, you know, get going, and
Get
as I get going, I
going.
think it'll be better.
Yeah, you're very, it sounds to me, I'm making up that you're very good at making stuff happen.
I like to think so. Yeah, I'm 0 to 80, I'm really good, and then that getting it from like 80 to 90, it's I need some coaching accountability.
And so, where is it now?
Um, I gave myself a deadline to start to announce it in October. So I'm in the research and yeah, kind of like planning phase, and taking some action. I would say I've been actively letting folks know. I've let my like the CEO of the company know, like, hey, this is what I'm pursuing. This is the passion,
And what
and
is it that you're
ramping.
pursuing? What is it that you're
Hmm.
pursuing?
Yeah, the life post this corporate career, right? I've coaching, and I still need to figure out. I have a conflict of like, do I want to focus on executive coaching business, or do I want to do more l- life stuff? But at the same
Mm,
time, it could be based on this. It doesn't have to
mm.
be one or the other.
Yeah,
It's whole
that's it.
life, right? So
One of our coactive cornerstones is focusing on the whole person,
yeah,
which is so sweet because they may be coming to us from a professional stance, and we
yeah.
get to include all of who they are outside
Yeah.
of that role, and
Yeah.
vice versa.
Yeah, and so with that, I think it's helpful to have some kind of certification because people inside the company know who I am, know my skills. Outside, they don't, and so having certification, I think, will give the world like, okay, he has some outside, you know, trust, and this, whether it's ICF or this, I think it would be useful to have.
Mm, mm. Wow. I'm so excited for the people that you are, I know, have already impacted. And yet, the throes of people putting yourself on LinkedIn, I'm imagining.
Yep.
I have a challenge for you.
Yeah.
In the world of coactive, challenge is something that a coach can offer a client, and they can say yes, no, or counter offer.
Yep. I'm taking notes.
Okay. And you also mentioned something about doing it in October,
Mm,
putting something on LinkedIn or social
yeah.
media, etc. So where I'm going is, and the challenge is supposed to like kind of have you go, "Huh?"
Mm.
So let's see if we get it. Uh, would you be willing? Oh no, I'm going to do this. Will you post on every social media platform that you're already on today and ask for clients because you are definitely stepping into this world of being a coach?
That's a good challenge. I'm being mindful of timing. I would say the third option, I'm definitely going to do it. And the reason for
Yeah.
the third option, it would be I'm I'm currently working on this 60-day initiative, if you will. One
Mm,
project the CEO kind of like a parting ask was, can you help create executive onboarding program? We just hired 3 new executives to the company, and then focus on them and help them be successful in their roles. I'm wondering, like, if that would be distracting or maybe not.
Ooh, I see this. I see this little glimmer of
Yeah,
just putting it out there.
yeah,
Doesn't
no,
mean you
I
have
love
to
the
say,
challenge.
yeah.
I love the
So
challenge.
what will you do?
I think I'm going to what I'm gonna do is I will
Yeah.
draft the announcement that I'm gonna have and have it
Okay.
ready to go and scheduled to go out when, because the timing is important. I don't want it to be
Yes.
distracting from what is happening right now.
Right.
It is gonna
When,
happen, but today I will have the draft. And I can send
how
it to you
much
if you want.
longer till you make a decision as to your
October
training?
1st, it's going to be announced. October 1st, I'm just going to post it and let folks know. And it doesn't, I don't have to stop what I'm doing here. I think I can do it concurrently. Like it
Yeah.
eventually, once I think the commitment of that overtakes my work stuff, then I'll just shift and I'll just put an end to work and become a
Okay.
consultant.
So then are we thinking of like a warm opening? I seem to
Yeah,
be attached to you doing something today. What might you do today?
I'm thinking. I mean, today, what what would be some good examples? If I'm on this journey, I have a like a 30, 60, 90 plan, like a business plan
Mm-hmm.
for the coaching business. I have a date in mind, October 1st announce. Um, Today, maybe I could reach out to executives, ask them about their pain points that I would love to solve, but I
Oh,
don't like, I don't know what their pain points are. I can assume and guess, but I can reach out to 10 uh, folks in my networks and let them
nice.
know, hey, I'm going to launch this. I'm curious in your role as a COO, CFO, whatever it is, what are the challenges you're
Beautiful.
facing based on this wheel of life potentially? And then
Yes,
kind of figure
love
out a
it.
solution.
Sweet. So how would you like to be held accountable?
I mean, I don't know that you and I are going to have a call, but I can send you an email saying, hey, these are the
Sure.
10
Yeah,
folks I
yeah.
sent an email to or reached out
Yeah.
to.
I will definitely send you my email and you will email me
End of day.
what you've done. It's
Yeah.
beautiful, brilliant. Your ability, you are, I'm just flooded with. We have this thing called acknowledgement. You are really present.
I appreciate it.
hmm hmm Yeah, it's really been a pleasure to meet you, and
Thank you.
I look forward to seeing you again. I have a feeling maybe you'll end up in a room we're teaching or something.
Thank you. Thank you. Look forward to it.
Yeah. Thank you, Kush. All right, Antony is going to come back. And so now, Kush, we're just going to debrief what everyone got to see here.
Yeah, Kush, may I join my esteemed colleague in acknowledging your presence and how great your dream is. Yay.
Thank you.
Go for it. Go for it. So if we can turn your camera off, I don't know whether there we go. What we'd like to do now is to debrief that coaching, but not to talk about the content. We really would like you to look at what the coach did and what tools she might have used and how she was. And then perhaps we can translate it into our jargon or into our model. Forgive me for having a frog in my throat. So comments, what are you noticing about that coaching? Yeah. Yeah, Donna, our assistant, thanks, Kush, for stepping up. We appreciate that. Yeah. Okay. So we're relying to, because we can't really see you or hear you, we're relying to what will happen in the chat. Lots of open-ended questions. Yeah, we call these powerful questions in coaching. They are short, powerful. They can't be answered with yes or no, and they take the client somewhere. Those are really the essence of coaching, powerful questions. Yeah, Molly says it was all about leading the client to the conclusion and decision. Yes, and Tina Marie, what would you say about that?
Oh, I was just reading the words. Could you say again what you said?
Yeah, Molly says it was all about leading the client to the
Mm.
conclusion and decision.
Leading the client to the conclusion. Yes, I guess. Yes, that is. We have this thing in the world of coactive for sure. It's called 10-80-10. And the first 10% is just sort of setting us up. And then the 80% is hanging out in the space our clients are and where they want to go. So
Yeah,
there is the hanging out. And then that last 10% is directing them to that
well,
place. What would you add?
we call that dancing in this moment. However, we do not know where they're going, and we do not know what their conclusion is. What we're doing is following their energy in order eventually to get them to commit. We talk about deepening the learning and forwarding the action. So it's not as if we say, you've got that problem and you need to address it. We're dancing with them all the time. Fiona Campbell says, love the noticing both the energy, body, face, and emotion. Tina Marie, what would you say about that?
Yes, our coaching skills, definitely we're feeding the thinking and the brilliance of our brain, but we're also inviting the whole body, our whole lived experience as a human being. So we want to include that in the coaching.
And Tina Marie is such a good example of using bodies. I mean, some of us kind of live a little bit more up here. You can see Tina lives down here a bit more. We call that focus on the whole person. Heart, body, mind, spirit. We're not here just to think about what your mental problem is. We want to coach the whole person. Yeah. What else is there? Yeah. Okay. Mirroring and sharing what you felt as a coach in your body as data for the client. Yeah, that happened more than once, Tina Marie. Yes? Can you remember what you did and how you did it?
What I remember is we have 3 levels of listening, and level 1 listening is about what's going on inside myself. And as first coaches, we encourage you to practice at more levels 2 and level 3. And yet level 1 can be very informative. So the key is if I notice I've got shivers going throughout my body, I can bring it to the client without attachment to anything going on with my client and just see if it brings up something for them. And so the key is to not be attached. And he went, oh yeah, okay. I can't remember the specifics, but I do remember the moment.
And Tina Marie was also using the skill of mirroring. Like what is happening with the client, the coach often actually mirrors it. So the client becomes aware of their energy and their movement. It's a sort of a physical awareness that they might not have otherwise. I'm looking at, mirroring. I'm just going through. I'm not sure the coach led the client, but she walked along with him, Laurie said. I think that's a lovely way of putting it. I'm walking with you. I see you, I feel you, I'm walking with you. Yeah. And in the confidence, if to use the same metaphor, that the client is sure-footed and is walking towards something that they really want. Yeah.
Rico says, when client is so excited to share, it's sometimes hard for me to figure out when to interrupt. I love how you did it. There is a moment where our clients are just so jazzed and this information is just inside them. And because it's inside them, they already know that. So I could just sit back and let them go on and on and on and on. And yet maybe by the end of our conversation, they may feel okay because they got it out, but had them shift their direction. So I get to come in with powerful questions for the sake of my client. It is one of the hardest things for me to do is interrupt. And for the sake of my client, I will do that. So like there was a moment where he just shared all this beautiful stuff and I just hopped in, and what is important to you about that?
Mm-hmm.
And could you just see, he just went, oh.
And notice the silence. Often we say when a question brings silence, it's bringing emotion, thought, development. Intruding, we call it intruding and taking charge. And it can be very useful when the client is going on and on about a problem. I'm not good enough. I've got this challenge, blah, blah, blah. It's a story that they know, and it really isn't serving them. So we can intrude and take charge.
Yeah.
Yeah. Dawn says, curious about the moment that Tina Maria said that she seems to be wedded to the idea of taking action today, which felt like a bit more of the coach than the client. Was that intentional?
Well, I tend to be a very transparent coach. Like, I use what's going on in my body. I often say what's in my head because I don't want to be attached to it. So if I can just get it out and let them know, I'm being transparent. And then the client can choose whatever they want with that. Because I make up, we're all energy meter readers. And if I'm holding it, they might sense it. So rather than keep it inside, I just popped it out and see what's.
Yeah. I would say coaches are intentional about the client taking action, because part of our model is deepen the learning, forward the action. So yes, as coaches, we aim for some action. Now, I think that, Tina Maria, forgive me if this is wrong, you wanted intentionally to model a challenge, which is actually a request that makes the client go, well, your client was so beautifully developed that you got nowhere near frightening him to death, but you could have done. And I make up that he's nearer that dream now than he was before he started the coaching.
Oh, I see.
So there is intentionality, and yet there's not attachment. Yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah. Here is Tina Maria's email address. Oh, that's just, yeah. When client is so excited to share, it's sometimes hard for me to figure out when to interrupt. Oh, yeah, I love how you did it. My view is do it sooner rather than later. And you can do it by, is it all right if I interrupt you? You can do a little bit of design the alliance. And if the client says, no, I really want to say this, then that's fine.
Yeah.
But almost always they go, oh, yeah, there's something else that I want to say. Yeah.
Nice. Lots of open-ended
Purity
questions.
was the foundation. Molly is back saying curiosity. Yeah, absolutely.
Curiosity, yeah. Yeah, there's something really sweet about the place of curiosity. And it hit me hard quite a few years ago when I thought I was being curious until I really looked at the definition. So to be able to be in the place of curiosity, I have to not know, like really not know. So when I work with clients, it's like I do this system where I just empty my knowing and I just show up to be present and an open vessel with my clients so that I can truly be curious.
The joy of that is that you don't need to know any content. All you need to know is how to be with your client. And it can be a temptation when you do know something about the world that they're in. And that's when you really have to, we call it self-management, is that whatever great ideas I've got are really not going to be much use unless the client wants to use them. So this is the joy of curiosity.
Right. And what also I hear you're pointing to is helping the client come to that internal motivation, right? There's something so sweet about living our life from the drive within versus the expectations that others may put upon us.
Yeah. So any other observations or questions about what coaching is and how it works? We're more than willing to
put them in the chat.
Try to answer them.
If we were in a course room together, we would see everyone's faces and we would be able to read. There might be a question on someone's mind and pop in and say, hey, Lori, would you Tell us what you're thinking here.
Yeah.
So this is where we're asking you to do
Yeah.
it.
What is your favorite part about the coactive approach? That is such a lovely, powerful question. Thank you.
I bet, yeah.
See,
I mean,
when I'm leading a course with my co-leader, and we always have two co-leaders, I always go, "That's a lovely question. My colleague will answer it."
well, it's much like when people ask me who my favorite child is, my answer is whichever one I'm with.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
I get the experience of loving everything about coactive. And yet one of my most favorite tools, which I keep coming back to, is one of the cornerstones. Holding our clients is naturally creative, resourceful, and whole.
mm,
That is so profound. It's so freeing. And it's
yeah,
so empowering for the person on the other side that's being held as naturally creative, resourceful, and whole. They're not broken. They don't need fixing. They just need space to just unfold themselves and go a little bit deeper in, which is what those powerful questions and curiosity allow us to do.
yeah. My favorite part is listening to people tell their story from a very
Mm.
empowered, resonant place. For a long time, I was a journalist, and it was always bad news. In
Ah,
coaching, it's always good news. You're seeing
mm,
people blossom. You're seeing people develop. It's such a privilege to,
yeah,
um, yeah, to
yeah,
witness people growing and developing. What are the major
that's it.
differences between the coactive program and one led by a university? What a great
Ooh.
question. My colleague will answer that, or I can have a
What are
go,
the major?
Tina.
Yeah, please, please, please
Okay.
do.
Okay. I would say the thing about coactivity, our teaching is very experiential.
Mm,
We actually give the experience of coaching and then let the theory catch up. I would say, and forgive me if this sounds a little critical, university coaching courses do it the other way around. They give you the theory and the logic, and there is much less direct experiential practice. I think that's a very crude representation of the differences.
mhm, mhm. Yeah, when I
We,
walked into my first fundamentals room back in 2004, I think 2005, I thought to myself, because I didn't do very well in school with textbooks and reading and all that stuff. I thought to myself, I'll sit at the back of the room, and if I like it, I'll come back the next day. I walk into the room and there's a great big circle. There's no back of the room. We were all and we're just so invited into being ourselves in community with each other that I just, again, I'm getting shivers all over my body. It changed my entire life. Absolutely. I did not turn back from that moment. And I am still good friends with so many of those people in that first room. Ah, it's just so lovely to be invited into more of ourselves, even in the classrooms, not just in the coaching experience.
big smile, big smile. There's a question here. Can you speak to the organizational stroke performance-based coaching lens? What I would say is that we're not here to achieve a goal. And if you increase the empowerment and the resonance of the individuals, then they will know how to maximize their performance and their organizational efficiency. So again, we're coaching the person, not the problem. The To parody it, it's a bit like consultants come in and they say, I want to know what your problem is. As soon as I know what your problem is, I can give you a solution. Coaching doesn't do that. Coaching
Yeah.
says, who are you? What do you want? What are your strengths? What are your weaknesses? How do you want to improve and grow? And then we put it into a context. So as the wheel of life, it might be, health, or it might be relationships. But in an organization or a system or performance world, it is, how are you at work? Yep.
I have a little diagram, Antony.
Oh, good.
So
Oh, yes,
I
iron
just love
liners.
this. Let's imagine this is our client right here, and this is their issue, their problem, or their obstacle. And it's so big they can't see over it to their vision or their dream. And this arrow is the coach. And we get to be curious. We get to ask powerful questions. We get to hang out with them, holding naturally creative, resourceful, and whole, focus on the whole person, dance in this moment. And what ends up happening is our client grows up so that they see over this problem to their vision and their dream. And what Antony was also pointing to, if we focus on the problem, that's what grows.
Yeah. So often coaching could be used for fixing people. And we always say you should be a complete volunteer. And we do not disclose anything that happens, at least in a corporate setting. It's really up to the individual client to report out to the system.
Yes.
And what often happens is that the customer, the organization that's hired the coach, they end up saying, I don't know what you're doing, but just carry on doing it because it's working. Yeah.
Yeah. Someone asked me, how do I prepare for the session to be this present? I have sweet little systems in place. And one of them is lighting candle. And I sit in my little chair and I just get myself present. I empty what was before the day. And I might say a little blessing of some kind just to get present and connect in with my client that's coming, even if I don't know them. And you'll find you'll have your own little systems in place, and it's really worth finding what works for you. Highly
Yeah.
recommend it.
Yeah. Well, I'm a bit the opposite, because
Yes.
I wouldn't know a scented candle if I smelt one. But what I do is I go back and have a look at sort of basic notes of who this client is and what I know about their values and their vision. And then I look forward to, hey, I'm going to have some more time with them. And I have a criterion that says if I'm not looking forward to a client, I really shouldn't be working with them. So for me, coaching energizes me. It's something I get energy from the relationship. That sounds selfish, but it's why I love the
It's
work.
beautiful. Yeah. It's
Yeah.
leaning into your clients.
Yeah. Somebody says, what's your view of coaching over the phone or versus Zoom or yeah. I used to do all my coaching over the phone. I now do all my coaching over Zoom. And it's up to you whether or not you do it in person or you mix or match. I think doing it
Yes.
in person can be very powerful, but it's very time consuming because you have to get there, you have to meet them. Normally you have to say, no, thank you, I wouldn't like a cup of coffee. It takes extra time.
It does. It takes extra time. And I do see it as a gift when I can slide it into my day. Often when I'm working with young people, especially, I might meet them at a community center or a park, and we'll do what I call a walk and talk. And there's something so sweet about getting the young people, especially, but into their bodies so that they're not caught up in their heads, and information just flows beautifully. So when I do get a chance to walk and talk, it is precious. And definitely nowadays a lot is over Zoom because it's just the way the world's turning. But a lot of phone call sessions as well are quite lovely. You can read into the space without the visual taking away if you're super sensitive that way.
Yeah. I would reinforce that, Tina Marie, that the phone works just as well. You can really feel and hear and sense things through the phone. Yeah. Someone asked about fundamentals.
Oh,
Yeah.
cool. What would you say about fundamentals, Antony?
Well, I would say it's very much what we've been doing in this webinar is that we give you a little bit of theory, or sometimes we don't. We do a demo, and then you get the chance to practice, and then we get to debrief. What was that like, and what are you learning? And then that keeps coming over and over. And fundamentals is like a buffet. you'll get to see all the pieces of the coaching model and the coaching skills. So it can be very quick, and there's a lot of stuff there, but it gives you a real taste of everything that we do and teach.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's quite fun. Fundamentals.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, Donna is asking if I can end the seminar, the webinar. Donna, I will. I can. I can't know how to do it, but not yet. Okay.
If you're
Yeah.
experienced as a coach already, but are curious about the coactive approach, is there a course that you can take that builds on your practice? Well, I think the way coactive is presented, fundamentals, is a course that, as Antony just said, that really does tap into our three main principles, which are fulfillment, which is all about what is it that your client wants, what do you want? Balance, which is all about what are you choosing? And then the third principle is process. What are you
Yeah.
experiencing? So
Yeah.
if you've got other training and you really want to know the coactive approach, I would say the fundamentals is just a brilliant way to, yeah.
Yeah. It's a bit like you know, you may be an experienced an experienced coach and think of fundamentals as a cooking course. Now, while the rest of us are learning how to chop onions, you might go, now I understand why they're using onions and garlic, and this is how I would connect it with my recipes. So I think that it is a basic introduction, and yet it's not if you come from a trained level.
Beautiful. And you've been a coach for 20 years too, Fiona.
Good, for congratulations, Molly.
Yeah.
Yay. I know. And you've not been worn out or died yet. No. Good.
Molly,
Yay.
yeah, the in-person courses, someone also asked if they're coming back to North America. Yes, we are working on bringing them back to North America. And I have to say, I took all my training in person because it was the only thing offered. And now I teach only on Zoom. I've done one in-person course. And there is something, it's crazy, but when you can see each other, there is something so magical about the container on Zoom and the way we can put you off into breakout rooms to practice the demo that you've just experienced. And then we get to pop into the room and give you some one-on-one tips. The online Zoom it's profound. I really thought in person would be my favorite. And now again, it's like one of my kids, whichever one I'm in is my favorite.
I think one of the things I would point to about our courses, because you're practicing with your colleagues all the time, there is a level of intimacy and transparency and connection that is so strong. People sometimes say, well, I've said things in this course that I haven't even told my family. So it is a challenging to be there, but it's also a huge opportunity for growth. Yeah. Yeah. So we are coming towards the end. We've got 5 more minutes. Anyone got a question that they really feel, I'm not sure, I could answer this. I mean, not answer this, I could ask this. Would anyone like to give us one last question? Speak now or forever hold your tongue. How do you support program participants in developing their own practice after the program? Thank you, Michael. Good. 2 questions that are together. Yes, well, doing through course curriculum, we answer a lot of questions about building practice. We used to have a practice building course, and my intention and hope is that we'll reinstitute that. But when you're developing as a coach, then at the same time, you're developing how you want to build your practice and who you want to work with. The short answer is, how do you get clients? Is tell everybody that you're a coach. Yes. And give sample sessions, become a coaching ball. So if somebody says, what are you doing? This is what I'm doing. Can I give you 10 minutes? Yeah.
Yeah. I would encourage you wherever you love to be, right? I love to be at my kids' school. I love to be at the dance studio. I love to be at networking events. Wherever I shine, wherever I am happy to be, I would show up and be coach-like. Be
Yeah.
curious, ask powerful questions, practice all my levels of listening. And it was in those environments that we would start to have conversations. Oh, I'm a coach and I do this. And then they would hire me to be their school's life coach. And it just started to evolve. So wherever you are happy, go and be you and use whatever coaching skills that you know of and talk it up. Yeah, I'm in
Yeah.
this thing called coaching.
Yeah. Tina Marie, that what you're saying is so important, because at the end of our core curriculum, we point you to being the coach that you are, with the interests and the passions that for you. You know, would I want to work with teenagers all the time? I'm not so sure. Would I like to work
Love
with
it.
writers and creatives? Yes, please. So this is the
Nice.
great joy, that you have the freedom to work with who you really love working with.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm sure if you have any further questions, you've got CTI's connection. You could always ask at service@coactive.com. And I'm not sure how you get our address. My details are on the Coactive website. I'm always very pleased to answer questions. And Tina Marie, I'm sure you are. Yeah.
Absolutely. If you found us on LinkedIn, friend me, friend Antony. We'd love to have you on board and have conversations with you.
And we hope that you join this crazy, wonderful place and
Yes,
use it, whether it's
it'd be so great.
Coactive, whether it's another way, because it changes the world little bit by little bit.
It
Thank
sure
you so
does.
much for being here.
Mwah.
We wish you well. Have the rest of the morning, afternoon, evening, night. Okay. See
Okay.
ya. Bye bye.
Bye.